Hi, my name is Bill Kim. I pastor the Congregational and the Presbyterian churches here in Clarion. My friend behind the camera, Ted Bunn. Ted and I have been doing this for a number of weeks now, where we provide on Sunday mornings, where we record on Sunday mornings, a short blurb of the sermon to try to put it in a nutshell, make it something that people could watch in a couple, 3 minutes. This morning we talked about, in our sermon, about 1 Samuel and Hannah, who is the mother to Samuel, how Hannah struggled with not being able to have children, and we pointed out how society saw that as an act of God and obviously not real supportive of her in these struggles, how important it was for women of that day to have children and to have male children. We talked about how Hannah's husband didn't quite get it, how her husband's other wife was actually evil and mean to her, and how the priest even missed the boat kind of on what Hannah's struggles were. Hannah does get pregnant. Hannah does have a baby, names him Samuel, because he was a gift from God, and she asked God for this gift, and she received it. And she dedicated, in the best way she knew how, dedicated that child back to God. The song that she wrote, the poem that she wrote in 1 Samuel chapter 2 says this: I'm bursting with God news. I'm walking on air. I'm laughing at my rivals. I'm dancing my salvation. Nothing and no one is holy like God. No rock mountain like our God. Don't dare talk pretentiously. Not a word of boasting ever. For God knows what's going on. He takes the measure of everything that happens. The weapons of the strong are smashed to pieces, while the weak are infused with fresh strength. The well-fed are begging on the streets for crusts, while the hungry are getting second helpings. The barren woman has a household of children, while the mother of many is bereft. God brings death and God brings life, brings down to the grave and raises up. God brings poverty and God brings wealth. He lowers, he also lifts up. He puts poor people on their feet again. He rekindles burned out lives with fresh hope, restoring dignity and respect to their lives, a place in the sun. For the very structures of earth are God's. He has laid out his operations on a firm foundation. He protectively cares for his faithful friends step by step, but leaves the wicked to stumble in the dark. No one makes it in this life by sheer muscle. God's enemies will be blasted out of the sky, crashed in a heap and burned. God will set things right all over the earth. He'll give strength to the king. He'll set his anointed on top of the world. That's from the Message. And I think in a nutshell, what Hannah sings about there is that in the end, God wins. Bigotry and greed and selfishness and evil and sin and Satan, those things have no place. In the end, God wins. Hannah, through the birth of her son, through the example that she is of dedicating that son back to God, inspires all of us, encourages all of us, reminds all of us to be thankful for what we have. In her poem, she reminds us that in the end, truly none of those things last. God wins. This week, Thanksgiving week, spend a little bit of time thinking about the blessings we have, and remember, in the end, none of the evil, none of the Satan, none of the greed, none of the selfishness will win, but God and God's love. May that be so in our lives. Amen. Thank you.